I just have to say, I just saw a little clip on Tim Scott when he introduced Donald Trump as being the next president. He looked so silly. He looked so foolish. A black man sitting here talking about Donald Trump doesn't see color. Sitting here talking about America needs a man that Donald Trump that the uh, foreign leaders fear. I cannot understand why he would publicly say that while calling himself a minister, while calling himself a representative of God. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me, but I understand because it allows people to accept the ways of the system that governs them as being the ultimate authority. And this being the ultimate authority, because if you decide that you do not want to accept this as the ultimate authority, and you would like to use your own authority to go against this authority, and this authority has made some guidelines, some guideways, some guideposts, some fence around it called laws. So if you try to go around it and doing your own thing in any kind of way, they got all kinds of things that they can do to you and ultimately kill you. Ultimately kill you. That is the biggest thing, the biggest threat, that they will kill you. And you know sometimes if you have stepping, you just gonna go to jail. And if you're really good at what you do, and don't let it just be good, but it good, then they'll come at you and get you. They'll bomb you. They'll bomb your whole spot up. Make sure they get you. Now, why would they do that? They do that because you are not welcomed. And what kind of person can do that? What kind of person can go against the system? One that is born again. I'm talking about really born again. I'm not talking about somebody saying, oh, that went down to the river. I'm not talking about the guy who said, I changed my way. I'm not talking about the guy who says I was taken from my body and I was on the wall and I'm looking at them trying to resuscitate me. And I'm not talking about those kind of guys like that. I'm talking about someone that is born again. Someone that knows that God is real. Someone who can look at a liar and know that he's a liar and bold enough to tell that liar that one is a liar and able to basically share the truth with them. See, if you are not really born again, you don't really want to die. You're scared to die. Now, there are those who, for one reason or another, will put their fear aside. The ones who have been convinced that they have to go into the military and fight and defend their country, that this is patriotic. This is a psych job. This is a psych job. And when somebody threatens your country, they call you in, draft you or whatever, and you are conscientious objective, but no, you can't be conscientiously objective because you want to get some benefits. And so you go there, they train you, you get a gun or whatever job you get. And then if they need you to do or perform, then you go out there perform, scared to death. But you go out there and perform because you've been trained that this is what you do. And you hope and pray that God allows you to live while you are out there blowing the brains out of someone else. Man, isn't it crazy the way the world thinks? And then talking about God. See, when it comes down to God, when you're born again, death is not your enemy. Death is your friend. Now let me say that to you one more time. When you are born again, death is not your enemy. Death is your friend. See, every system on the face of the earth is a representation of a part of hell when compared to heaven. Every system I don't care where you can be, Dubai, Paris, New Orleans, wherever you are, and I don't care what's going on, that is hell compared to heaven. Now, one that's born again knows that. If you're not born again, you don't know that. And again, as I said a moment ago, your number one fear is death. You don't want to die. And you do whatever basically you can to live. But that's the way of the world. When you know that this is hell, when you know that God is in charge, when you don't have to worry about God any more than you worried about God before you came here. You just put in God's hand and let it be what it is. You disregard all systems, ways that are anti-God. You just do it. And you do it for a reason, to teach them that they are violating God. That's why you do it. You don't jump on the train. Well, honestly, what I'm saying to you is this. The reason that the people are considered as agents of Satan or little demons, the reason that you are mentioned as that is because that's what you are. What does that mean? That means that you have accepted a system. I keep saying this, repeating myself, but maybe you guys have never heard me say it before. That means you are honoring and empowering a system that is anti-God, anti-heaven, anti what was made for you to experience and enjoy here on earth. You were deceived and followed the dictates of another that have led you to this conclusion. Born again knows that this is a skit. Born again knows that this is fake. You know, you got someone want to replace God. Might be a man, might be a woman, might be an American, might be another. But they want to replace God. They need the power that God has. They need a group of people to think like they think, to give them the backing while they go and plant, depending upon the system that they're in, plant stooges out there to assure them what they are trying to do will be successful. And then that's what you call stealing power. Stealing power. Now you're telling folks one thing, but you're actually doing another. You're telling folks one thing, but you're doing another. You know, like Trump was saying the only way he could lose is the Democrats stealing, the Democrats stealing, the Democrat was stealing. And see, he got everybody thinking that the Democrats stealing while all he was doing was stealing and preparing to go all the way if he had to. But they didn't see that because they were conned. And so the whole world is conned. A person who is born again does the same thing that Jesus did. I know a lot of you do not believe that Jesus Christ ever existed. It doesn't matter. Thor didn't exist. Black Panther didn't exist. But it makes you feel real good. Some of you want to be like that. The story of Jesus Christ is the most fantastic story that was ever told. And what was that message? Be born again. Follow God. Forget this thing. Everything that the world can possibly give you doesn't mean a thing when it's anti-God. When it's anti-God, didn't say the things were wrong, didn't say your Cadillac cars, didn't say your wonderful homes, didn't say that thing was wrong. But he said that it works anti-God. See, this works for you. The billionaires, the millionaires, you pimps, that works for you. But the masses of the people got nothing. See, that's anti-God. This, ladies and gentlemen, what this message about basic human rights is all about. God. God. Now, I know you say we want to separate God and government. Yeah, I know you want to do that because the only thing you know about is government. You don't know anything about God, and you say anybody talking about God's confusing. I'll tell you, you can call it confusing if you want to, but you got a headache in the world. With God, you don't. Somebody say, "Oh, you got to die to go there." Well, the only reason you die because you're living in hell, and hell don't want you. And if hell don't want you, don't you think heaven is glad to receive you? Well, anyway, I'll stop here for a moment. Remember, there are all kinds of things that's going on in the world, all kinds of evil things, even things that's shaped up to look as if it's good, even those things that you people call good, philanthropic and stuff like this. It's crooked. It's all crooked. None of it serves freedom. None of it serves peace and prosperity for all people. None of it frees you that you have your needs, your wants, and desires met. So I need you to listen to the videos. Go back and listen to any number of them. You will find that the message is always the same. Check yourselves. Think about what you've been through. Think about what you've been dreaming. Think about what you've been listening to. Think about what you want. And search for that power that you cannot see. Search for that power that I'm telling you about. Just search for it. It's out there. And it's loving. And it requires love. It requires love of you. It requires love of you. If you find yourself out there headed what you call down a path of love, but you got some hate over here, you don't have to turn that path of love loose. But you remember, you're not going anywhere with that hate. You got to break that stuff loose. Now, that's why you don't mind dying. Because you're not hating Trump. You're not hating the mega folks. You're not hating Republicans. You're not hating Democrats. You're not hating the real rich people. Why? Because you know they do not know any better. You didn't know that before until you learned better. When you knew the truth, then you recognize that others don't know it. And you're not angry with them. And you are not going to be acting like they act. Now, that doesn't mean they eat, you can't eat. That doesn't mean that they want to live a wonderful life and you got to want to live a down life. No, you want to live a wonderful life too. But you know that everybody is supposed to live a wonderful life, and that is your advocacy. And that's what you represent. And that takes care of everything. All right? I need you to respond. Make some comments. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you think should be done. Tell me what you are willing to do, if anything. Just talking about it, I'm not requiring that you do anything but allow the Spirit of God to live in you and you become a manifestation of it. That's all I'm asking you to do, really. Because I know what God wants you to do. God wants you to change the world. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. God not waiting for you to just be dying. Just living here dying, all on earth, just living here dying, controlled by people that got no sense. No, God ain't not about that at all. God wants you to live. And if you don't live, it's by your own choice, because the preparation has been made. So wake up and live.